What is going on, everybody? We got a lot of charts to look at. We got to look at Tesla after earnings. We're going to look at the S&P SPY. We're going to look at the QQQs, NVDA, maybe some IWM. Let's have some chart fun. This is Mike, the tactical stock scalper. All right, all right. So as we see right here, we're going to start with SPY. And we're on a daily time frame here. Each candlestick represents a day. Currently, SPY is butting its head right here, right on the 20 period moving average, having a hard time getting across it. So we will have to see how this develops the rest of the day and into tomorrow. Let's zoom in here a little closer. And I will say this, if we close below the 50, which is this green line that you see right here, right? If we close below the 50 period moving average, that would be two closes below, and we can expect some downside. Back probably down to the 100 period moving average again, and maybe retest that as a low. But if it closes above, all bets are off, and we could break through the 20 period moving average going into tomorrow and Friday, and then maybe challenge these all-time highs up there again. We'll just have to see how this develops, and there is some data coming out Friday morning, which could also influence the movement of the S&P. Let's look at this on a weekly time frame. Here we are pulling it on a weekly time frame, and what a lovely bounce off the 20 period moving average on a weekly time frame. If it holds this, we could be going higher as well. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the week develops. But for right now, on a daily time frame, if you're watching this, want to see a close today above the 50 period moving average for some upside potential, close below it, we're most likely going back down. So we got the Qs today. I definitely want to get into Tesla. There's some interesting things there, and the video as well. Okay, here on the Qs, again, butting its head right here. We got two moving averages curling down, giving resistance right there to the QQQ. So, and also this 430 price tag right there. So this will be interesting to see what happens here with the Qs and S&P, with both of them having overhead resistance. It would tell you that we're possibly going to go back down, but you never know with earnings and other things coming out this week that could move the markets. It could just gap up overnight above these moving averages and not even have to fool with them. We'll have to see what the Qs look like going into tomorrow, but we'll just have to see. Let's go to Tesla. This is really interesting, okay? So we had the gap up overnight from the massive earnings run up, right? And has got above the 20 period moving average and is currently above the top of the buy zone, which is 160. And we're back in to this long period that you see right here of consolidation, right? This whole long period here. If Tesla can hold above 160 today and tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be headed to 180, which is the top of this area of consolidation right through here. And that would be the next level of overhead resistance. We don't really like to use EMAs too much on Tesla. Sometimes it follows them, sometimes it doesn't. It's really more price action trading with Tesla. So the gap up with the earnings, and now it is holding steady here above 160. Tesla owners might be happy if we get a hold above it tomorrow. That's showing strength at the top of the buy zone of 160, and it could go up from there to 180. I found this fascinating. Let me pull this out here for you to a weekly time frame. Got a lot of lines on Tesla because I've talked about it. Let me go ahead and delete some of these. Sorry about this. Let me delete a couple of these lines here. Get a fresh chart to work with. Okay, so we had this bounce from roughly this area here, or we are bouncing right? See that area there? Yeah, we did dip below it over here on the weekly time frame. We smacked into 140, flushed out everybody, and now it's heading right back up. Now the question is here, guys, is it going to make a higher high? We don't know that yet. We got to let this cycle develop, because as we see here, all we've done on Tesla for the last, I don't know, 2 years, we'll just start here, is create lower highs, right? We see that high is lower than all the rest. Let's zoom in here. This high here, lower than all the rest, right? This high here, lower than all the rest. So we need to see how this cycle here plays out on Tesla. If it can get above 180 and create a higher high, that's showing there might be something here for Tesla bulls and Tsly bulls. It's showing that there may be potential. So Tesla owners, let's not get too excited. I am not one of you, but many of my friends are. So let's not get too excited. Let's see if we can get above 180, hold above 180, and create a higher high. Finally, possibly breaking this 2-year cycle of nothing but lower highs and lower lows. So, because we'll just have to see what happens, because I do want to warn you, this low here is lower than this low. If we do not create a higher high, what's the next low? See it over here? That's the next low. So it could create a lower low past that. Tesla needs some time to figure out its life and figure out where it's headed. Let's go look in the video. Check this one out. We're going to go here to a daily time frame on the video. Got a lot of lines here, but some of them we are going to use, okay? NVDA came up here to this buy zone. You see this line, this red line right here? The bottom of the buy zone. It came right up to the buy zone, got rejected right at the $850 level, and it's coming back down from there. So NVIDIA is creating a series now of what? Lower highs, right? This high, lower than this high. That high, lower than this high, right? If this comes back down, now we're forming another. If this doesn't come back up in the next, few days, we are now creating another lower high. And what happens with that? That means we're going to create another lower low, which will be lower than this one right here. So NVIDIA is on watch for me for the next week or 2 or 3 to see how this develops. But currently, look like NVIDIA peaked back there at 974 and is creating lower highs and lower lows. When will the cycle end? We don't know. We're just going to have to keep an eye on it. I hope you enjoyed the content. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper.